shit. Hello. Hello, people. What's going on, people? I hope they're all well. I do apologize yesterday about yesterday's show. I was at work and couldn't make it in time, so I do apologize for yesterday. But we're back today to talk about Saturday's game, Forest 2, Brighton 3. Disappointing result. If you want to get involved with the chat, please do. Before we do start, I want to give a massive shout out to Ross, a big Forest fan. He's doing a 12-month 12 challenge on one charity next year. So if people want to get involved and do a little donation to Ross, the link is at the top or in the description. Please read and help him support because he's doing a massive test for his charity as well. So please read. As well, he's got an evening with Paul Hart, Ian storey-Moore, and Jason Lee as well. So I think that's January. I think it's January or something. If anyone wants to go to Willing Gun, please do. Like I said, I love Paul Hart. Back in the day, I might get a ticket myself. So please, if you are like this kind of players, the link is in the description for this one. Please do. And last but not least, my friend Des Oldham, he's doing the Coast to Coast as well. Make sure everyone helps him out. He's doing it is it in May? I think he's doing it. So please help him out as well. So all the links in the description, all the links are in the description. So please support him. Right. Let's get the panel in. Who should start with? We're not grumpy. We're happy. So first of all, let's start with the man himself. Rads, how you doing, Rads?
I'm good. How are you? Sure.
Could be better.
Right.
Could be better. Are you happy or sad?
Well, Forest point of view, I'm kind of on the fence really. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes in time. But yeah. I'm not like Son. I'm not Cooper out or anything. So,
next door we've got the legend Ellie. How are you doing, Ellie?
I'm all right, minus the football. So, it was. I'm still sulking if I'm honest. And I was actually supposed to meet a Brighton fan. She's a lovely lady after the game, but I'm a sore loser. A really sore loser. So I went home and sat in a dark corner and thought about the game instead. Sorry about that.
Don't worry, people. I think I was the same as well. I was frustrated more than anything else. But people in the chat, how did you feel? And last but not least, we've got the man all the way from Australia. Good morning to David. Good morning. What time is it, David? Good morning,
Ben. And I'll just say I'm feeling like a yo-yo. It's the ups and downs of being a mid-table Premier League team. And once again, I just now have this fear, actually, that when we score early, you actually kind of want the other team to score fast so that then we start coming back sooner. So we actually want to lose. If we take the lead 1-0 early, we actually want 2 goals to go in the first 20 minutes so that then we can actually come back from 25 minutes onwards. Because if we lose the lead with only 20 minutes to go, then we only start playing with 20 minutes to go. It's such a terrible mindset.
That is true, though.
So every time, the emotional fragility of Nottingham Forest. Goodness. Come on, guys.
Well, people cheer up. I'm not going to go down the best of the lane, but it is what it is, people. Like I said, there's so much to talk about the game from Saturday. There's an article about Steve Cooper. He needs to win the game, basically. Because if you don't win against Everton, Mr. Manakis could pull the chop. So, again, we'll talk about to the panel, to the chat as well. And there's an article as well about set pieces about them. That's, again, we'll talk about throughout the show. Right. Before we do, let me go through the chat. Chat, how is everyone? Paul, even though I hope everyone well, Steve Cooper says all right things about people doing individual mistakes. How you doing? Mohammed, how you doing, Mohammed? Hi, Dor. Steve Cooper's under pressure, and in my opinion, it's time to sack him and move on for him and get someone better. That's it. It's Mohammed's opinion. Yeah. That's something that we are going to talk through that show as well. Paul, be positive. It could be the top 10 easy. Exactly. 2 wins. It could be the top 10. People will be mad at as usual. Good evening, Mr. Dor and panel. How you doing, Mark? Paul, a member. How you doing, Paul? Even all disappointed Saturday, yet more points gone from winning position. Need to reflect smartness. Yeah, big massive point with that as well, Paul. Eve, legend, always watches the show. Good evening, Mr. Dor, L, Rads, and Dave. Hope you're well. Can you see me before the game at Tottenham Store? Draw a hard picture while I'm watching and listen. Yes, of course you can see me. Just don't see Rads. He's annoying.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
That's all right. Ricky, hi guys. I'm Cooper in. Again, people, that's one that we are going to talk throughout the show as well. Colin, even read commented to Everton the game. Will get his back on the feet. Got to keep Mr. Cooper. You reg as well. That's before we do. So hi, Ben, Ellie, Rad and Dora. Sorry, I'm late. Don't worry, you're here. We haven't even started yet. We are starting now. Right, people, let's get involved in this chat as well. Let me start with you, Ellie. Saturday's game, we lost. How do you feel about it?
I think, like everyone, frustrated more than anything. Like, Brighton are a good side. I mean, we know what they're capable of, and they looked really, really strong, especially in that first half. But I think what's really frustrating, as David said, is we were 1-0 up in 3 minutes. 1-0 up in 3 minutes. And we've got to be, and I've said it before, and I hate that I'm having to say it again, we're one of the only sides in the Premier League, probably in football, who go, oh no, when we've scored within 5 minutes. Because we've lost 11 points this season from a winning position. And I said it last time, and this stat still makes me laugh. And I don't know if, well, it's definitely a bad thing, given the results afterwards. We've got the most goals in the first 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, look at us. So it's frustrating to not get any points from it. It's also kind of just like, that unbeaten at City ground, I can no longer boast about to everybody, which is just annoying in itself. But I think for me, what's really frustrating and what's bothered me the most is because I can take losing against a side like Brighton, because they are really quite good, and it did show, is for me, there was a lack of fight. And that's what bothered me. I think the only player who I'd say who started, who looked like they really cared and who was really putting a shift in and worked hard, was Morgan Gibbs-White. I think he's been on a tough run of form. He struggled a bit, but he really showed us what he's capable of, his passion, and he really drove the team. But a lot of players, I think they have a lot to, I think, individual errors and poor performances all round and a lack of fight. And we're Forest, and that's unforgivable for me. Unforgivable. I'll always back
Are you forgivable, Ellie?
Unforgivable. I'll back the boys always, but if you're not putting a shift in for my Forest,
Ellie's she's never been forgivable, but she is now, people. So
I'm usually very nice.
She is very nice to me. In real person, she's not nice to me. She give me a little jab, but yeah, Ellie's leave
nice
me alone.
Rads,
like I said, frustrated from Saturday, but what was your feelings?
Yeah, pretty much that, really. I think I was certainly I think everyone was thinking like, well, we could beat Aston Villa, so if we can do the same kind of thing, same kind of atmosphere, then why can't we go and get Sunny against Brighton? And it started great. I don't think anyone was all too convinced that it was going to stay that way. Or I literally said to my dad next to me, please, can we not just hold on for 87 minutes here? Like, I can't go through that. Unfortunately, we didn't hold on for any more than about 20 minutes. So that's that kind of got rid of that one. But yeah, obviously Brighton are a great team, but I just think we made it too easy for them. Too many individual errors. I do agree a lack of fight was there at times. And it's a shame that it took us to go 3-1 down to actually start really going for it. And even then, all we were doing is just putting balls into the box and most of them not connecting with anything. And that's just our set piece issue. As obviously we saw that article come out, as you mentioned. It's something that needs to be addressed. We're woeful when it comes to set pieces and holding on to leads. And I think if we can sort that out, there's clearly a good team within us. Like, every player on that pitch has proven they've got ability to do really well for us. So it's just about ironing out those mistakes, really. And I think we can get somewhere.
Do you echo what Ellie says, David?
It's a different perspective watching at home on the TV. Certainly, I've not seen Gary Birtles in commentary be as frustrated with the Forest team that was put on the pitch and the performance. I just think a few individual errors, the crosses coming in. I thought Ola Aina had a particularly poor game, and I was surprised that he wasn't hooked at halftime. And I thought I kind of feel like we've got a bunch of, our right and left backs are just so weak. And so he's like, it's 1 week they're a 4 out of 10, the next week they're a 7. And, we had 3 right backs on the bench and we didn't hook Olarena and put one of them on. I don't think any of them would have been better. I was very pleased for Morgan Gibbs-White when he got the assist and the run down the field. And I thought the way that Alenga ran off and then he actually kind of turned around and came back to Morgan Gibbs-White and celebrated. And one of my fears has been that, the chop and changing of the team, we haven't had the friendships. But my big key takeaway is I said all along Taiwo Awoniyi was our best player. I think we win if Taiwo plays. Just that, that moment where Chris Wood tried to close down the goalkeeper and almost jagged a kind of deflection in. Taiwo is just that second faster. He's just a little bit better. And I think that is all the difference. And I think without Taiwo, we are in for a struggle street couple of months. I think it is going to be so hard. And then when you take out Sangare, if he's as good as all of the fans think, then he's arguably our second best player. And we do not have, 11 elite level Premier League players. We're like 4, and we've taken 2 of them out. And so what did we expect? Like, come on, guys, we're a mid-table team. Like, that's going to happen. And so
that's the frustrating bit, David. Like, we are, like, so David's spot on. And like my opinion, and people will agree or disagree with me what I'm saying, we are a mid-table team. Right now, like I said, people can go on about we are a top 8 team, the players that we've got, blah, blah, blah. But we are a mid-table team. What?
We're not a top 8 team.
But that's what people have been saying. That's what everyone says. We're people in the chat. Are we? What are we? Are we a top 8 team? Mid-table team? Oh, people see, there's 45 people in. People see if you are a top 8 team. Because I'm baffled where people go. Elliot, what are we? Are we a mid-table team or a top 8 team? People in the chat, get involved, man.
I mean, I'll always be positive and say that every team has the potential, and we have the potential in theory to be a top 8 team, but that requires like immense luck with injuries and everyone to perform at their best every single week, and that's just not football, is it? But we're a mid-table team, and I think anyone going into the game at Brighton thinking this is ours, we're going to win this easy, or if we don't win this is bad news, is how do I say this nicely? Stupid, because it's Brighton. They've been class. They've got such players, and yes, injuries, but we've also got our top goal scorer is injured, and I think respect Brighton. They're a really good team. We could have won and we should have won based on what happened in the game, which is why it's frustrating. But going in with that expectation is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know where people have got that from, and it's arrogant, and that's not how we should be, because you're just going to break your own heart.
There's the thing, like, I'm as Brad, but like I said, Brighton, they didn't win in 6 games, but they're playing European football because they did fantastic last season. All top teams are going to be at poor form, and Brighton was. Right, let me ask you a question. Have we got the damn right to beat Brighton? Even if they have got injuries, they've still got good players. They brought in, who's the guy that scored 2 goals? What's his name?
Pedro.
Pedro, he come on and scored. I said to the guy next to me,
we love João Pedro in our team.
Yeah, I would have loved him in our team. I said to the guy next to me, this guy's better than Fatty. And what did he do? Scored 2 goals. Great header. That I want to talk about the defence, because no one's talking about defence. It's all about Chris Wood, this and that. He's rubbish and blah. But back to the question, lads. Were Brighton still a strong side, a strong team that we played against on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. Like going into that, I thought they'd have less players available because they had a lot of injuries. Like I didn't expect Ferguson to play or Lamptey or Dunn.
Exactly.
Those were going to be out. They had them available, which made them stronger, but they still had quite a few players out. But look at where Brighton have come from. Everyone knows how they run in terms of recruitment. They've always just unearthed gems. They sell some of their best players and then they find someone out of the blue and he's world class. Like, that's just what Brighton do. So, I don't know why we were entitled, and I think it's been an issue for us all season, to be honest. Apart from the Villa game, I think most of us can agree that all the home games haven't been anywhere near the level they were last year. It's not been bad. It's not like the Etihad or something. It's full for starters. But I don't know why I digged at City though. Anyway, moving on.
Little dig. But if any Man City fans here, it was him, not me. Okay.
It's not been as good though, really, has it? You know, it's just been flat for our own high standards, and I just feel, you know, it's not the reason why we've drawn quite a lot of games like Luton and Brentford and that. You know, drawing with Burnley now is looking really poor, looking at how they're playing. So I just feel like, you know, we've got to take it game by game. Ultimately, it's a cliche, but it's you just got to do that. And you know, we're still establishing ourselves as a Premier League team. And you know, is it entitled to even say we're a mid-table team just yet? I think we've got to just, you know, let the lads do what they need to do. Obviously, they need to improve like set pieces and holding on to leads. You know, the team mentality. There's lots of things we can improve on, but we've also shown that we absolutely can win games in this division. But let's just not get carried away. Like, you know, if we're not in Europe in a year's time, like sack Cooper. Yeah, it's just stupid. Like, let's be realistic. You know,
what's your thoughts, David? Do you think, like I said, are we a mid-table team? Are we like we've got a fantastic side, but we deserve to be a top 8 team? What's your opinion on it?
Well, you don't deserve anything. You have to earn it. So either earn it by playing well on the pitch and working a little bit harder. And the team's only bit.
Is that Cooper's fault? David, is that Cooper's fault?
Well, Cooper's job to change the team so much, though. So this team's a new group again. So this group's kind of only finding their friendships and working out how to play together. Like, you know, that's the first time Mangala and Danilo and Dominguez have all played together. So clearly they're going to be a little rusty and not know how to play together and all those sort of things. So do we deserve to be well, I'd love us to be. Do the fans deserve us to be? Yeah. Do they try hard enough? Yeah, sure. But we've got to work a little bit harder, be a little bit smarter, and show a little less petulance and emotional maturity. And, you know, like, just stop doing dumb stuff. Like, we have 5 minutes to go and the guy's in the corner and you kick the guy and foul them so they can waste a minute. Like, Murillo is meant to be our top defender. That's such a dumb, immature play. Like, you just know that they're going to waste like 90 seconds of our last 5 minutes. It's so bad.
Let me just switch this, because when I saw the team, I'm going to ask you, Ellie. When I saw the team, there was no Sangare. And personally, I love Yatesy. I would have loved Yatesy in that midfield, because I've always said if we got Sangare, I think he's a better person than Yatesy, but I still love Yatesy. If he doesn't play, Yatesy comes in. Do you think we should, people in the chat, do you think we should have played Yatesy in the midfield? Because playing Dinalo, Mangala...
When he came on, Dore, though, he looked...
That's my point.
Below the rest of the players. Sorry, I don't think he's up to it.
What, Yatesy?
Right, hang on, no. You want to...
No, right. I think he looked poor.
Yatesy, but poor.
Right. Yatesy...
Wait, David, wait.
I don't think... I know, Ellie's on. Ellie, go.
Go.
Yates comes on in the 69th minute. At this point, we're 3-1 down. On the 71st minute, there's a penalty to Forest. And the 73rd minute, Dunk gets the red card. 74th minute, Ferguson yellow. 82nd minute, Verbruggen yellow. Williams and Aina come on the 90th minute, and 90 plus 4 minute, Bonanotte yellow. And when did we play better? When Yatesy came on the pitch. Yatesy changes the game every single time he comes on that pitch. And there is a reason for that. Yatesy might not have magic when the ball is at his feet, but that speaks for itself. When did we suddenly start making chances? Yes, admittedly, when we went 10 men down. But what contributed to that? Mr. Ryan Yates was on the pitch, and suddenly we look slightly dangerous. And it happens every single time. Every time. No one can talk to me about Mr. Yates, because I love that man. He's incredible. And you know what we were lacking? He might not be, like I say, he's not the most skillful player, but he's got the heart, he's got the courage. You will never see him put anything less than 100% in. And that's what we needed, because we have so many good players on that pitch. And they thought, you know what, I'm not going to go for that tackle. And there were so many times that it was very frustrating to watch, because it was like, Forest is known for our passion, our loyalty, and only Morgan Gibbs-White in that starting lineup appreciated that. And it showed, because he was working so hard. And Yatesy came on and he made all the difference once again. He allows other players to play, and no one can ever tell me otherwise.
Right, David, respond.
Are you all okay? So basically, when Yates come out, your basic points were that one, we got a penalty. He wasn't involved in that at all. There were a bunch of yellow cards. Not sure that he was involved in any of them. We also got back in the game because they had a player sent off, and that was because Phil Dunk was an absolute fool and nothing to do with Yates. And I just worry that Yates looks a little bit off the class level. And when the cross went in and the header found Yates, in the championships, he scores those. And in these ones, you've got to put it in a smarter position.
100%,
And you've got to get
100%.
And I'm just not sure that Yates is going to score like he used to in the championship for us. And to be honest, I think if we want Yates to come in for this position to deliver for us, we needed to be playing him more. We just can't drop Yates for weeks and then suddenly expect, Yates will just come back in and suddenly he's going to be as good as he was before. You've got to build these players up and give them confidence. We can't go back to, let's bring Joe Worrell back in. He hasn't played for weeks. It's that's not going to help.
Right, so I do agree with agree with David on Yates. I love Yates, but he should have scored that header. He should have scored that header because we can say in the championship, I think it was Chris Hughton days or start of Cooper days. He had some decent chances and he should be scoring. And at the end of the Cooper championship, he scored loads of goals with his head. But I do agree with Dave. He should have scored, but I still think he should have started because first off, and again, I'll get Radford in a minute. Dominguez and Danilo, I think they're both the same player. That's my opinion, people.
Absent, wasn't he?
Huh?
Dominguez was absent. You wouldn't even known he was on the pitch.
And I think they're both exactly the same player. But right, who do you agree with, Elliot or David? Go on. People in the chat. Wait. People in the chat. Who do you agree with, Elliot or David? Go on.
I'm always gonna back Yatesy. I absolutely can see where David's coming from. That there's better players than Yates. Even I can.
In that role.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. Oh no, not in that role. But yeah, in terms of midfielders, Sangara, for example, is more of a technical player and a better player, higher level, and that's why Yates hasn't played as much that was the last couple of months. But he still absolutely has his place in the team. And for me, if you're going to lose Sangara, even though he's different again to Yates, I still think Yates is more similar to Sangara than what Danilo would have been. And I also agree that Danilo and Dominguez are kind of cancelling each other out. And that's 2 games in a row that Dominguez hasn't done as well. And, he had an illness, apparently. That probably didn't help. And Danilo clearly isn't fully at it at the moment for whatever reason. And I actually thought it was a good move initially because of what Danilo can offer, but he just didn't. And another thing for me with Yates playing is everyone's going on about it. We haven't really got a leader on the pitch right now. And if you've got Yates in there, you've absolutely got a leader. So even if he's not the best player in the team, because he isn't the best player in the team anymore, he could technically still be one of the most important. So in an ideal world, does he start in terms of strongest team? Probably not. But I would play him right now without Sangara in the team because of his leadership and just what everyone's going about how physical Everton are and their set pieces and that's exactly what we're struggling with at the moment. Well, Yates will get stuck in. So yeah, I can kind of see both sides of this conversation.
Peter, if you haven't been in the team for 8 weeks and you've played 20 minutes, it's just a little bit hard.
I know, yeah. But whenever I think it was hard done by really that he was dropped. I get why he was dropped because of the players we signed, but yes, he hasn't played much. He couldn't just suddenly throw in Wall.
I would have started him.
One of them.
I would have started him.
I don't see that as much of an issue for me, but yeah, I'm on. I'd have to agree with Ellie and Dore here, to be honest.
People are trying. Who agrees with David? We can't let him.
I don't think anyone agrees with David.
No, people in the chat. Who agrees with David?
I need my mate Gordon Mikulev back. So he's the only guy who ever agrees with me. The guy from Melbourne who likes Bollywood.
But like I said, people, it's about opinions. Everyone's got opinion. But like I said, if Sangara doesn't play, Yates for me comes on.
That's a like for like thinking though, isn't it, Dor? So you basically have, you've got your ball winning midfielder kind of passionate player, and so if he doesn't play, then you bring in the like for like version, and I can understand the rationale for that. And I think if you're going to do that, I just think Yates needs a bit more time on the field. But I don't like that they abandon Yates and Worrell and some of these other guys. We've seen the benefit of playing Toffolo for a longer amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, like we signed Toffolo last season and now he's finally coming good. And you could argue that if I was to say to you which Forest players are in form and playing well above their level, then only Toffolo is really the one you could say is doing any good compared to where they might be. Like, who else is in form and playing well?
That's something that we are going to talk about. That. I said, people, please do hit the like button. Please do hit the like button if you can. Make sure everyone goes and subscribe to Rad as well. Rad's link in the description as well. I've seen his vlog as well. I'm just like, I'm not going to go on criticize individual players because that's me. It's a team game. But I've got to mention him. I'm going to ask you, Ellie, and Ellie might disagree with this. And people in the chat as well. What's your opinion on Chris Wood? Do you think it's right? Do you feel he's right? He deserves this criticism because? Yeah, go on, Ellie. Before I say something.
I think Chris Wood. Obviously, no one's choosing respectfully to Chris Wood. That sounds very harsh, but no one's choosing Chris Wood over Awoniyi. No one.
No.
And unfortunately, we are in a position where that's what we've got now. And as it stands from what we've seen from Origi, massively prefer him. But we haven't really seen Origi, hardly. But I think Chris Wood is a different player. And I think you have to have the right players around him and understand that he's a different player with a different game that offers a very different thing to Taiwo Awoniyi. He can score goals, but he's kind of more of a fox in the box type of guy, I would say.
Let me ask a question rightly, and as well, right on this. Do you think we should have left him on? Because when last 15 minutes, all we was doing is pelting him in. That's the kind of person Chris Wood wants. And me personally, I think we was using more like Yatesy was more of a trying to tackle the ball. But do you think we should have left him on or not?
In an ideal world, yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's where he would have been like, yeah, that's Chris Wood all day. Don't know why I needed to demonstrate that, but
he crashed.
He's old. Right. Well, he's old by football means. Sorry to everyone else, but not true. But like I can see he probably needed to stay fit, and I'd rather he comes off and stays fit than he stays on and probably gets injured as well because he needs a moment. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen him on because that's his game. He would have, if it was Wood and not Yatesy, it's a goal, and it's sad. But Cooper really didn't have a choice. I'd say he's a little old fella. Sorry, Wood.
Rads, what's your opinion on Woods? Sorry to throw you in it.
Yeah, I think he might be the most controversial player, in the team, because I don't know. When he was first signed, I don't think anyone really knew what to think of him really, because I looked at it and thought it's kind of lacking ambition, but he has scored goals at this level before, so we'll give it a chance. But then the price tag was like 15 million. That still seems an awful lot.
18 million.
18 million. It's still
we got Taiwo for the same amount.
Yeah, exactly. And that whole loan clause, he played like 3 games, no matter what he did, and he's going to sign. It's a bit stupid, really, that. But even last season, he played 3 games, was very invisible, then got injured for the rest of the season, and I don't think anyone thought he'd have to get a chance this season, but he has. He has scored 3 goals, and good goals as well. So, he's clearly not as good as Taiwo, obviously.
You've all got no choice. We've got no choice to have him. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He's go back to some false nines with Morgan Gibbs wide or some.
He's not a false 9. He's not a false 9. It's as simple as that. He's more of a number 10. He's more of a number 10. He likes to be creative. This is what frustrates with people. He's in fact Dave, carry on, David. I'm getting frustrated with.
Well, sorry, I don't want to cut off Rads, but look, Chris Wood is a New Zealand footballing legend, and so obviously of Australia, I'm going to be a little bit probably more in favour of Chris Wood than everyone else. Sadly, he's just the best we got. So he's a good bench player in terms of imagine if we had for the situation we were in on versus Brighton, the player you would actually want to bring on in that scenario is Chris Wood.
Chris Wood, yes, exactly.
If we're
And
3-2
that's what I
down,
thought.
with
And that's
25
what I
minutes
thought.
to
Like,
go,
yes, he wasn't amazing on Saturday. Like, let's keep it real. He wasn't amazing. But when we brought on Hudson-Odoi, all he did is cuss the ball in, and it was a crisped thing. That's why I
Yeah.
thought,
we just don't have the options to it.
huh?
We just don't have enough options. Like,
People in the chat, let's
I
say,
think we're carrying one extra defender and we need one extra striker. I think the balance of the squad's actually probably not quite right.
people in the chat, let me say something. If we didn't play Wards, Daikirigi, he come on and he didn't do much. Who would you put as a false nine? Like, come on, people in the chat, get involved. Who would you put them? I don't. We've got to use these two strikers now till January. We've got no choice. Come on, man. It pisses me off. Sorry for my.
It would have been better with Origi starting and Wood coming on, but hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Hindsight's it's a wonderful thing. But it is what it is. Right, another thing what frustrates me a lot, because remember we beat Chelsea, and I'm not saying we played Joe Burrow and Scott McKenna, and they were fantastic against Chelsea. Burrow had, like I said, he did his mistake against Luton, but we conceded 3 against West Ham. We conceded 3 against Brighton, but no one's giving grief to the centre backs. Ferguson's goal, good goal. Where's Niakate? No one's giving criticizing. No one criticizing Niakate for that. If that was Joe Burrow, everyone will be on Twitter and killing him. People in the chat, what's your opinion about? Are you happy with Danilo and Niakate at the back? Don't forget we've conceded 3 goals against West Ham and Brighton. Go Rads.
Well, I totally agree with the point. I think it's I think other clubs probably have it as well. You just always will slate your own players for some reason, like youth academy players. It's always been a case, and I feel incredibly bad for Wall and McKenna. Like they've been part of some of our longest serving players now, especially Wall, and the fact that they're just now completely out of the picture is really sad, to be honest. And I could see one of them moving on in the window, which is what they deserve, really. They deserve to play football. But more to the point, Niakate, he hasn't been quite the same as he was last season for me. Like he was good against Villa, but then he was a bit at fault for one of the goals at West Ham, that Dominguez.
It was a fault. It was his fault for the first goal. Get Ferguson. But no one's talking about that.
But no one's having a go at him.
I
think Murillo's clearly an amazing player, but he is still very young, so he will still make the odd mistake and make immature mistakes, as we already mentioned. So that's the only issue of Murillo, but I think he's clearly going to be an unbelievable player, and he clearly is already. But is it time to take Niakate out the team? I think maybe. Bolly was very harshly dropped. So
exactly. Where's Bolly?
Give him another chance. And I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten about Felipe. Like, do we need Felipe back?
Felipe.
I haven't either. But we want him back, don't we? Really? Like,
no.
Like, what's wrong with Felipe? He never even seems to get asked of Steve Cooper at the press conferences.
Right. Okay. So let me put in this chat right. And as we'll get involved, who would be your first choice centre backs? Who will be? Would you?
Felipe and Niakate, hands down.
Really?
Yeah, they were good last season together, and they played the most games together. And then Murillo waits for his chance, and so Murillo and Niakate play the same position of the left centre back, and then you have the mature right centre back, which is Felipe, and then Bolly sits behind them. And then now that I'm thinking the like strategy,
Bolly and Murillo. That's for me. That's me. Ellie.
For me, as long as I made this point on social media, and apparently it was controversial, but for me, I don't care who else is there, as long as Bolly or Felipe, one of them at least, is there, then I'm happy. That's
right.
Because Murillo and Niakate are young, and there's so much potential, and especially in Murillo, we know how fantastic he can be, but naturally they're going to be inconsistent. I think they need one old experienced bloke next to them to help them out. And as long as Bolly or Felipe is there, I'm happy. So Murillo and Niakate does give me a heart attack. There's so much talent there, but both of them together is, kind of asking to concede goals, in my opinion.
And that's my point. But Ellie, it's true though. It is very true because, like I said, them two scare me.
I think so.
Them two scare me a lot because, like I said, West Ham, like I said, we conceded 3 goals, and we conceded 3 goals against Brighton, but no one's talking about Nikate for the Ferguson goal and Bisley and Giza. Where was the 2 centre backs? Nowhere to be seen. No one's, and yes, then Nikate, Mourinho, he's been good for us since come to the club. But Nikate, for me, yeah, his throw-ins are good for us. But Dave, what do you think? What's your opinion on it?
Well, I'm just seeing in the comments, Davey's saying that Felipe is gone and he won't be back. So that's depressing if that's actually true. I do think the Nikate throw-ins are absolutely terrific. But I actually, just listening to all the comments and the chats, one of our probably concerns is the fact that it is not clear who our clear centre-back partners and pairing should be.
Again, who's your first choice centre-back? I can see Low Block.
Well, mine is Nikate and Felipe, but
that's mine. This is my first choice.
If we don't have a first choice centre-back pairing, then we don't have one. It's like, if you've got 2 quarterbacks, then you don't have one. Like, we don't really have that, and maybe that's still a problem.
People in the chat, like I said, who's your first choice attack? It's just me personally, like I said, it wouldn't for me for Nikate because we give you sometimes. Yeah, they played fantastic at Aston Villa. Keep it real, but West Ham and Brighton conceded 6 goals. It is what it is. People, please do hit that.
More of the problem though in the most recent match.
Oh, what?
I thought letting the fact they didn't close the crosses down and they just kept whipping them in was really the problem, which is a midfield problem and less about the centre backs, though, isn't it? But there just wasn't no urgency to head the ball, and so maybe that's where Bolly is just a bit more fired up.
Experience as well. People, please do hit the like button if you can. Subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure everyone subscribes to Rads, and as well, people in the link description. 12 challenge, 1 charity by Ross. Please donate. He's doing a fantastic thing. If you want to know everything about it, please link it and you'll read everything. He's doing something fantastic as well. And make sure everyone clicks on Des as well. He's doing a fantastic coast to coast as well. And January, I think again, January there's something. Ian Storey-Moore, Paul Hart, and Jason Lee are going to William Gunn as well. So please go and get your tickets as well. Right, we're going to talk about it. Steve Cooper and people in the chat as well, get involved. Ellie, Steve Cooper, it's a must-win game against Everton. People in the chat, get involved there. Ellie, what do you think?
I'm Steve Cooper in, and I think that's unsurprising to most people. But for me, watching games like Brighton and other performances that we've had similar to Brighton, losing when we've had a lead, has been because of players, and I mentioned it before, not playing. They're just not turning up onto the pitch. And, you know, sometimes players have terrible games, like, who was it? It was Dominguez the other week, had an awful game, bless him. But it happens. But for me, when you're not fighting on that pitch, if we're putting a shift in and fighting and losing, I can take that. I'll be like, I'll be frustrated, but I can take that. But I can't understand when you're playing for a team. You're so lucky to play for a team like Forest under a manager like Steve Cooper at the world famous City Ground with the fans that we've got. How you can't fight like that. And for me, I'm kind of of 2 sides of. I'm very Steve Cooper in because I can see what he has to offer. He's been known to be a fantastic coach for young players and players in potential. But, oh, no. Has it crashed?
No. Carry on. You're right now. You're right. You're okay. You can hear you now. Yeah, carry on.
Okay. That's good. But I think there's 2 things. One, as David mentioned before, and you're so right, is if you're going to play a player and you think that's the best player, stick with them, because we're chopping and changing all the time. And I know a lot of that is to injuries, and that's understandable, that's different, but a lot of the time I'm wondering, well, why aren't they getting a game? They've played really well in the last game. why not? But whoever it is you think is the best player, stick with them. How can they play together if you don't let them? And the other thing is, if the players are going on the pitch seemingly unmotivated, where does that come from? You know, when all the players bar one look like they don't want to be there, what's going on? And I'm very Steve Cooper in, but even I'm wondering what's going on a little bit. And I think my guess would be that he's got people breathing down his neck saying, you've got to play this play, you've got to play that play, you've got to play the one that we paid all the money for. But I want Steve Cooper to do what he did last season, and it's just do what he wants, pick the team that he wants, the team that has played well for us, the team that has the heart, not the money necessarily, and stick with it. I think we're lacking in confidence compared to where we should be. And I'm still very much Cooper in, but player mindsets need to change, and that does come from somewhere.
100%. David?
I've got a different position completely. You know what I want outdoor? I want manager in or out chat out. I'm sick of talking about the manager and whether he should be in or out. He clearly is our manager. Let's back to the Ellie point on the players in or out and chopping and changing. Stop chopping and changing, Nottingham Forest. Like, how many managers have we had over 20 years? Steve Cooper is the manager of Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, but David, some people are not happy about it. Some people
He's
won't be
a
happy
new
about
Premier
it.
League manager, and he is learning. And so we've got to learn with him. And we're a mid-table team now. And so motivation, when you're going to be a team that finishes 12th, like going from 12th to 9th, like there's not really that big a difference. But going from 18th to 16th is massive. And so the motivational difference, and this is Ryan Yates is a brilliant player for us in a team that's going from 18th to 16th. And so when he comes on, you see that motivation and that fire. But at 12th to 9th or a 15th to 12th, like those motivations are different. You're kind of this mid-table team, they're kind of going on. And so that's the problem that we're facing. So in terms of the Cooper in, Cooper out, I'm sick of it. It is just, I don't know what it is. Why we are just obsessed with sacking the manager after losing one match. And then the next week, he's like an absolute legend. We're fist pumping and come on. It's Cooper in. The upside of having Steve Cooper for 7 years as the Forest. Like, if you want to be a Europe team and you want to be a top team, we need the same manager for a long time. That is the absolute constant ingredient for these teams that are long-term successful. They have the same manager for a long time. And we've been more successful than we've been since 1981. Like, come on, guys.
I say Frank Clark.
Frank Clark was good, actually. I love Frank.
Clark was
I love
well.
the 1990s Premier League.
I love Frank Clark as well. Shout out to Frank Clark.
There's so many more YouTube videos now of the 1990s Forest as well. Actually, if you go on, there's so many. You can just.
I keep watching. Was it Dave Bassett? Dave Bassett when we won the league with. I've got to mention his name, Kevin Campbell. Yes, he was in that team with Pierre.
Oh, how good was he?
And Botman and everyone. But yeah, it's a legend.
Kevin Campbell. That was just heartbreaking, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we'll talk about that in the off-season, Dor.
Rads, you've not mentioned. You kept quiet, Rads. Open your mouth, say something.
Silent. Cooper in.
Cooper in.
Yeah, I just thought I'd say that because, yeah.
Full stop.
Full stop.
Cooper in.
That's it. Cooper in. Right, I'm gonna have an opinion. When people says he's got his limits, and yes, this is his second season, and people's going to talk more about it. About he's playing this kind of football. He's changed from the 3-5-2 formation to 3-5-2 to 4-3-3. But we're losing more games now. But now we transition. Let me ask you, Ellie, would you go back to playing 3-5-2 or stick to the same formation? Because it's not working, is it? I'm 14th. I'm 14th.
No,
is it not working? 14th is better than last season.
Yeah.
No, I mean with the formation. Is it working?
No. Yeah, well, it's not the formation that's the problem, I would say, we're being quite critical now compared to what we have to be.
Yeah. Wait, stop, dude. Wait. Let's be happy, clappy. Gotta be happy, clappy.
But I think
happy, clappy.
I think it's, and I'm fuming, and my father was fuming. And if you'd seen him at the game, you'd seen us raging. Individual players, I think you can see who was there last season, like Morgan Gibbs-White, and how he's got the heart. And for me, that's what's lacking. And not having Joe Worrell or Yatesy, I think now I love Joe Worrell. Now it's probably too late for Joe Worrell, like David said. I mean, he could have been started and stayed in all season, but now what you're going to do is just throw him in. But without Joe Worrell or Yatesy, there's no heart. And that really makes a difference. Like, who was it who said that we need a leader on the pitch? And I think that's the problem. I wouldn't put it down to formation, necessarily even tactics, but it's simple things like that. I know it's not necessarily football and all this and that, but it really matters more than anything when there's such fine margins. Stick with the team and have a leader on the pitch. And Gibbs-White is starting to step up to that, but it's not going to be the same as what Yatesy or Joe Worrell can offer, where it's like their life, you know, they live, breathe, drink, work. They are Forest, you know? And I think that's the problem, because the tactics could work and they should be working. We've got the players that should be doing the right things, but they're fumbling the bag on occasion, is how I would put it. But yeah, I'm very happy with Mr. Cooper. There's things that need to be, well, not changed. I think there's things that we kept the same is the problem, like David said. But on to the next one.
People, please do hit the like button if you can. You must help the channel a lot. The article come out as well, and it just frustrates me a lot. I know, I don't know if everyone's seen it. John Percy, Marinakis is not a happy bunny with the set pieces. He wants a set piece coach. I thought it was Andy Reid.
Oh, great idea. We do need a set piece coach.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, according to John Percy, Marinakis is not a happy guy at all. I'll be in his boat as well. I wouldn't be happy. David, talk about it.
Well, actually, it just shows that Marinakis is watching the same thing. And even if you're just...
And he cares about the club.
You know what? It's just obvious. Like Morgan Gibbs-White set pieces suck. And Chris Wood is really good at heading the ball. And how good were Harry Toffolo's crosses? And they got a bit of whip to them, and they got a few tricks, and we looked far more dangerous. And you know, set pieces are a chance to score. And so if we don't have a set piece coach, I was saying, well, why didn't we have one? Why haven't we had one for a long time? So Marinakis, great idea. Great thinking. Yep. God, I wouldn't have thought of it myself. Improving the set pieces. Great idea, Mr. Marinakis. Let's get that happening. But yeah, I was certainly pleased that Toffolo was taking the corners. I don't know. What did you think, Dor? I thought we were more dangerous. I genuinely thought, my mindset was watching it. Oh, Toffolo's caking the corner. We might actually score.
No, you know how happy I was when first off, when I think Lads was on that side as well. When he's taking the corners, I thought, at last. And his ball delivery was good, though, wasn't it, Ellie?
And Morgan Gibbs-White is really good as an energetic player trying to win the ball. Like, if you were to rank all of our players to be put in a situation where there's a Johnny on the spot, you've got to kick the ball in the goal. Morgan Gibbs-White is our best player in that scenario. So you want him in the box for it's so obvious. Anyway, I thought it was so good.
What about you, Brad? Should we stick with Toffolo now? Because like I said, I thought he did all right with set pieces. Morgan Gibbs-White, set pieces not been great.
Yeah, definitely stick with Toffolo. You know, as soon as he came on against Brentford, he's been pretty much a staple of the team now with that cross, all but straight away. And, you know, you've got a player like Morgan, who's a creative player, who's going to get you goals. I totally agree with what we just said. You want him in the box, surely, you know, to score the goal rather than put the ball into the box not very well often. And, you know, that's one of Gibbs-White's weaknesses, really, is he just isn't really a corner taker. So, yeah, if Toffolo's got the best costs on him at the club, which he has, then you surely give him the job of doing corners, which is crossing the ball into the box. So, yeah. I absolutely would keep Toffolo on. I'm really pleased that he's finally took his chance. And just briefly mentioning how we were talking about players needing to stay in the team consistently. Well, we've finally given Toffolo a chance, and you know he's doing it. And you know how we mentioned Bolly, taking Bolly out the far end line out. You know he didn't really do anything wrong at all. I get why I put Nick Carty in against Villa because of his physicality and that, but yeah, it was very brutal on
Ollie was
Ollie,
playing at
really.
the top of his form, wasn't he, Rad,
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
was taken
He
out?
was like
Absolutely.
like the game against even I mentioned Chelsea away, and people can say Chelsea were poor, but they're still a good side in my opinion. He was great, and that's why when people continues to slate Joe Worrell and all that, like set pieces wise, I miss Polly.
Can I ask you, Dor, if you had to let
That's
one
the
of
way.
Joe Worrell and Ryan Yates leave Nottingham Forest, which would you pick? You had to let one go. And Ellie, we'll give you a couple of seconds to think about that. The shock on your face. If you had to let one of them go, which one would you
go
pick?
first. Go first, chat, before. No, Rads, go first, Rads.
Oh God, why? Why did you do that? No, they're the heartbeat. They're
Which
still
one
the
of your two
heartbeat
kids
of
do you
the club.
like the least is the question, isn't it? God, it's so brutal.
Well, from a football point of view, right now, Wall's not playing, and Yates still is kind of playing. So from that point of view, it's Wall, but I don't want to lose either of them. Like, you know,
You've got to pick one. That's the question, Rad.
Pick one, chat. One.
They've both been here as long as I can remember, a long time. I know.
David, why have you done this?
I'll sell him. I'll pick John Joe Shelby.
You can't. We're keeping John Joe Shelby. Don't worry, because we can't get the money back for him.
He is the heartbeat of the team. To be fair, John Joe. You know.
All right, come on, Ellie. Answer the question. I know it's brutal. You're so angry about.
I may have dodged that quite well. I thought.
No, I'd sooner sell my soul to the devil than get rid of Joe Worrell or Ryan Yates. I cannot. We are not Forest without both Ryan Yates and Joe Worrell. I hardly took Brennan Johnson leaving. I needed a few days to grieve that loss. I cannot bear the thought of either of those two going. I mean, Ryan Yates I just love the way he comes on and he's so angry and every team hates him, and I absolutely love him for that. It's just hilarious and class. And Joe Worrell is always described as the heart of the club. I'd sell me. I'd sell me.
People in the chat,
and I'm saying that.
Wait, 1 minute, wait. If people in the chat, Molo, if you're watching, cover your ears. Anyone wants to bid for Ellie, I'll sell Ellie.
I think Ellie said Joe Worrell based on her answer was my interpretation.
People in the chat, if anyone wants to buy Ellie, a good price, please do. I'm a auctioneer, so for people, I'm an auctioneer. So people in the chat, how much you want to buy Ellie? Anyway, last one. I think I've got a question, haven't I?
Yeah, you have to answer to. I've thrown the question at you. It's a tough hitting question, isn't it?
People in the chat, who do you think will? Yatesy. I've got Yatesy.
That's shocking for me, though.
Yeah, what? No, Yatesy stay. Yatesy stay. Not
well, you're selling. Wait, are you selling that? You're not selling either of them.
No.
He's selling Yatesy.
No, we keep Yatesy. No, we keep Yatesy.
Oh, so you sell what?
Say what?
So you're selling Joe Worrell.
Who's a rarer player? Are there more Joe Worrells or are there more Ryan Yateses?
There's more Joe. I think there'd be more Joe. There's more Joe Worrells, but no, there's one. No, Dave, wait, Dave, stop that.
Joe
There's only
one of a kind.
There's one of a kind. Joe is one of a kind. Leave Joe alone.
I like both of them. I was just
Yatesy.
presenting a scenario that was interesting that just caused good discussion and just creating us to kind of think a little bit.
No. Like Joe's not playing. Let's keep it real. Joe's not playing. He's living on the bench. But I love Yatesy because I love the way he is. He doesn't give a flying. Yeah, I love Yatesy. So
yeah, if we're being brutal in terms of football, it is Wall because he's not playing right now. But I don't want to see either of them leave because of
I think you're right, Rads. I think
what they've done. Yeah.
No.
People in the chat. Some people might be cheesed off about this, but because I know there's quite a lot of people just like to go slate Joe Worrell, but I'm not going to slate him at all. So people think I want to be. I've got a good relationship with the club, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to slate him. So that's my opinion.
I've got a Yatesy little name tag here. I've got to put Yates.
He's Yates.
Yeah.
Hang on.
The Yatesy.
Yeah, I've got a shirt as
I've
well.
never
Yates
met
on the back.
Yatesy. I've never. Everyone says they see Yatesy all the time in Nottingham, and I've never seen him. Like how?
He walks across the road when he sees you, Ellie. So he's just
Yatesy's a
avoiding
legend, man.
I nearly hit you with a car once. It was my fault. That was entirely my fault. I didn't look, and yeah, that would have been quite cool.
Let's change the subject. Let's change it because I think I still dodged it a little bit. But I'm not gonna. Yeah. Before we go, please, like I say, please do hit the like button, please. It's a massive favour as well. Please subscribe to Rads. Right. We're 14th in the league, people. Is that? I still don't. That's not a problem. 14th because I think the score Wolves and Fulham is 2-2.
That's 3-2.
Who two?
Fulham, I think just scored.
Oh, is that good for us?
That'll be good for.
Oh, my literally Premier League table just updated and the positions moved.
Oh, we're still 15th. We're going down to 15th then.
Down to 15th.
We're going down to 15th.
We're ahead of Bournemouth at the
Not good
moment.
enough.
So if you consider that our competition really has been Bournemouth for the last couple of years.
I say it, right, people.
With them, we're ahead of them by a point.
Let me keep it real. Like I said, I think I spoke about it at the start of the show, and people can you remember what he said at the start of the season? Where do you think Forest will finish? Did anyone say Forest will finish 15th in the league? I'll be like, is that a good thing? We're in the Premier League. We still.
I said 17th, so I think 15th is good, though.
People in the chat, where do you think? Right, let's go. What does your heart say, and what does your head say? Where do you think? Before we go, let me ask Ellie. What does your heart say, and what does your head say? Where do you think Forest will finish? I'll go all for the panel.
13th. Both are saying the same thing, I think. 13th. I'm really like last year. I'm not gonna lie. I said 13th, knowing we weren't finishing 13th, but I couldn't not say it. But I really do think 13th is where we're going to finish because we're underperforming at the minute, and that's okay. We're still performing well, but we have more to offer, and I think it's a good thing that we're in that position that we're underperforming because it means we have more to grow and time to grow. So maybe I'm overconfident, but we're in a transition period, and I'm very excited. And we're finishing 13th at least. At least.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope you're right because people. Do you disagree with Ellie? Do you think we should be a top? Other people think we should be top 4. We'll probably win the league every single game, but yeah, that's each their own. Rads.
I think winning the league might be out of possible for us.
No, I think we'll win the league. We're going to win the league.
Easy.
17 points off. Do you think we can turn that around?
Well, why not? Why not? Man City and Chelsea are going to lose points. But yeah, you never know. Rads.
At the start of the season, I said 14th. Actually, I was being quite optimistic. Don't know. Well, I do know why actually, because obviously
we're mid-table team, people. Yeah. We are a mid-table team.
I probably would stick with that. Honestly, I think I'll go with 14th. And yeah, we got potential to be higher if we can iron out these mistakes that we're making. The anti-Cooper brigade would say we could finish lower than that because they obviously want that to happen so they can have something to moan about. I'll go 14th. I think it should be top 4, obviously, but I'll go 14th. Actually, I think I'll go with that.
Last but not least, David, what's your heart and head say?
Head says we've got the red goggles on, so we're all going to present that we think we're going to finish higher than we actually are. Look, we're currently sitting 15th. We're sitting around where Bournemouth and Fulham are. We've been competing and around that level for a whole bunch of years. So, I'd say we probably should have, and based on the players that we've brought in, have improved. So I think we should finish 14th. And I'm going to adjust my kind of thinking, originally 17th. I think the African nations is going to be terribly hard with the number of players that we could potentially have out. So I haven't looked closely at how many we've got out versus the other teams and how that looks for us. And especially with Taiwo, that's going to also, I just don't see how without Taiwo on you, we can get higher than 14th. My heart says that Forest should be a top 6 team. And that's the size of the club. And that's the size of the passion and the quality of the players and the individuals that I talk to on podcasts like this and the quality of everyone involved. We should be that, and we should be striving for that. And those are lofty heights, but it's going to take us a while to get there, and we should be realistic that, we don't want to yo-yo and hockey stick. We want to build gradually, build, and work towards that. And we're going to build with Steve Cooper as the manager and having faith in our players and growing with the players that we've got, and not chopping and changing them. And that means giving Harry Toffolo a good run. So long story. I think we're going to finish 15th, Dor. We'll stay where we are.
Is that a bad thing?
One position higher than last season.
It's not a bad thing.
We actually need to start getting ready for next season, Dor, because next season the Premier League quality is going to be higher than it is this season.
Yeah, 100%. Because I think
Luton, Sheffield United and Burnley, they are horrible, and they are all clearly going down and have looked that way for a while. And I think, God, did Everton get lucky in terms of the season where they got docked the points? Like Everton might, in 5 weeks' time, Everton will be out of the drop zone and they'll not even worry about it. And so, if they were docked points other seasons, they'd have been in real trouble. But this season, not as much so. So we need a plan for what does week 1 Premier League team next season look like? We need to build for that now and just finish 15th, and that's okay.
100%. I'll say Head says 12th, Hart says 14th. We're mid-table team. I'm just sick of tired of, like, everyone has their opinion, and I'm not so fine. Like, yeah. But yeah, I'll say.
End of season, Taiwo comes back. The players from the African nations come back.
We're going to win the league. No, we're going to win the league. We're going to win the league when Taiwo comes back.
I think
first or nothing. First or there's no excuse.
Yeah, then we call ourselves
no, if we win the league, then there'll still be people who will say Cooper should be out. What are you talking about?
People love. That's the thing. People love when people. I think when what game was it? Wolves away. Someone wanted Cooper out, and I think he still wants him Cooper out. So,
he only got us promoted from bottom of the Championship and League Cup semi-finals, FA Cup quarter-finals, stayed in the Premier League with a lot of new players.
Yeah, what's he done? Nothing. What are you talking about?
He hasn't done nothing. But that's how people are. But like I say, people's opinion. That's how it is. Sorry, I should have said that word, but naughty Ben. Right, people. Thank you very much, Ellie, Rad, and David. Thank you for taking time to come on the channel. Dave, what are you doing now? Are you going straight to work or just chilling?
Yeah, I'm working now. I might change my jerseys over, but yeah.
Legend.
Can I actually just put this up? This jersey that I've got up here on the top, this one here, I bought that off on eBay. It's like a 1970s Forest jersey. I'm trying to work out if that's like a legit jersey or if I've just been absolutely stolen one by some random person who's...
No, it's a jersey.
I'll go grab it. Hold on.
Oh, come on. Hurry up. Always one. Dave, if people don't know, David's already from Australia.
Is that a real jersey?
People in the chat, why is it?
Hold on, let me put my headphones back. Yeah, is this a real jersey or have someone just made up a kind of fake looking, like it's an old 1970s.
People in the chat.
Is that a real jersey or have I just been taken for a...
Well, Ellie and Rad, we wasn't born, so...
I don't recognise it, but obviously I wouldn't have remembered that shirt, shockingly, so...
Anyway, no. Australian guy selling that jersey, so I bought it. So I'll probably change my jerseys over.
It don't matter. Right, people, it's been a good... Thank you, everyone, for taking the time. I say thank you, Ellie, David, and Rad. And as well, last but not least, make sure everyone donates to Ross, please. The 12 challenge and one charity, please. The link is in the description. Top of the he's doing something fantastic for his cause as well.
Actually, Dor, can I mention Des? How healthy is Des looking?
Des is in Benidorm, people. He's in Benidorm doing his run. So shout out to Des, Ian, and Kay, and Dawn. No, I'm not going to shout out to Des. Shout out to Dawn, Ian, and Kay. Des should be running around now because he's still got his coach run. So I hope Des is not watching this. He's on the run. Please do, Des. You are on the run. But yeah, right. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you for taking the time.
Des would agree with me, Joe Worrell, not Ryan Yates. That would be like running along.
I don't think I've answered your question. I don't think I've answered your question on that one. I've dodged it. I want both to stay.
Harry Arter.
I found out from the chat. I found out from the chat that I wasted $40 on that cheap jersey, but never mind.
It doesn't matter. It's got the Forest logo. That's all it matters.
It's got a logo that looks like a Forest one, and 40 Australian dollars is like £5 anyway. So basically, it's nothing.
Right, people. Thank you, everyone. Like I say, thank you, Lexi, for Ellie, Dave, and Rad. Rad, any videos coming out, Rads?
Yeah, there's always stuff coming out. There's like 10 million games next month, so there'll be loads of coverage to that. Yeah, just stay tuned, really. Subscribe to Door. Subscribe to Rads.
Make sure you subscribe to me. Make sure you subscribe to Rads. And just like I said, please do. Like I said, there's loads of content coming out as well. Before we do go, we're not grumpy. We're happy. That's all I'm going to say. Peace, love, people.